Welcome everyone to the 21st episode of QCast. I am your host, Glory, and no, I am not late, Dexio. I am not late. I am on time. 1 o'clock is on time. If it was 1:01, then I'd be late. But I am on time, bitch. Anyways, I am joined with Cringey and Rocky. So, how are you both doing today?
I'm here.
Cringey?
I think he's having a stroke.
One surprise. Well, that's you're just choking on dick at that point. I wonder why his girlfriend dumped him. Alright, anyways. How you doing today, Cringey? Okay, great. So I'm gonna be real with you guys real quick. It's been a quiet week. Nothing has really happened in the community. There's been about 3 things notable that have been happening. So I'm gonna explain all those. And then afterwards, we're gonna do something a little bit different. As you probably already know by this point, we are doing, hopefully next week, we are doing our official Q&A, with Terrarian Union. Which the form for that, if you want to submit a question, is in the description. You'll be taken to this, where you can put in your username and ask your question, and then, you know, submit it, and hopefully we will get to answer it next week, but that's all on Terrarian Union at this point, because I guess Coke's away. Even though the official Q&A is next week, we're going to do kind of our own unofficial one. Basically what we're going to do is I'm gonna talk about all the topics that I have, the 3 things, and then after that we'll basically just talk to the audience, and if you guys watching have any sort of topics that you want us to discuss, say you want to talk about, like, if you want our opinions on the state of the dual universe community at this point, or like, I don't know, some game mechanic that they're talking about adding in that you've just always wanted to ask your favorite live streamers ever. And, you know, just get our opinions on it. Preferably, dual universe related. So, yeah, if you'd like to ask all that stuff, we will start taking questions, and we'll try and just go on for a little while and see what stupidness will follow. So, yeah. Other than that, we can at least talk about the 3 things that have happened. The first thing that happened earlier this week, Blue Moon Tavern, not Tavern. I can't speak today, or when can I ever speak? Let's be honest here. But anyways,
Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tuesdays. I can speak on Tuesdays. Blue Moon Tavern. If you guys don't know about them, they were like some kind of like hangout area. It was started by Dexio, and he's of course in chat. They just went through kind of like an overhaul. I'm renaming it to Blue Moon Tavern now. Yes, thank you, Dexio. But they renamed themselves to Haven, and they kind of went through a complete overhaul. So, yeah, they're going to try and keep on pushing that out now. It's officially a Luminous project. Not just, you know, not just one of Dexio's little side things. It's officially a Luminous project, so that's cool. Blue Moon got rid of 2 words Glory can actually pronounce. Oh, dear. I'm amazing at pronouncing words. But yeah, you can go over and take a look at that. I don't know if there's a Discord link to it on the Dual Universe community site, but I'm guessing there is. So I should probably add that into the description, because Dexio's a nice person and he shouted me out, so I appreciate that. But, you know, I was not prepared for today, because when am I ever prepared for me doing these? But in other news, of course, Nova Quark have released their weekly screenshot for Screenshot Saturday. Of course, for just in time for our weekly Judge Cast. So I definitely appreciate Novacork for doing that. So this is the screenshot this week. They are on a celestial body that I will not name because of NDAs. And they are looking at another celestial body with 3 more celestial bodies in the background. NDAs are fun. So, yeah. So, there's also ships flying around. There's a bunch of people kind of meeting up, you know. Yeah. Shrug, I appreciate the shout out regardless. You're welcome, Dexio. I'm glad I'm able to promote your content. So yeah, this is the screenshot for this week. Also, something I didn't know until just when I was starting to prepare for getting today's live stream up, it's JC's birthday. So, happy birthday to our Lord and Savior, JC Bailly, in case you're watching, in the rare occurrence that you're watching. Happy birthday to you. And yeah, so that's kind of cool. So that's about it. Anything else that you guys... Yeah, see you next week. I think the ship in the middle is Captain Hiltz's one. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know. But anyways, alright, cool. So that's about it for all community stuff, unless Rocky and Cringey, you have anything else.
Me?
No? Cringey?
No.
Okay. I see you're done choking on dick now, so thank you for contributing. Okay. What the? That was terrible. Alright, anyways. So now I guess we'll kind of just take questions from the chat. Any topics you want us to discuss. Hopefully you guys can come up with something, because we really don't have anything else, any other ideas. So if you guys would like to submit any questions, I mean, there were some things in my Discord. I don't know. What were they? Let's see. How people in DU can be applied to economics. Okay. So, economics and players in Dual Universe. Levels of activity can heighten and drop, and it'll be hard to maintain a fleet without with a fluctuating player base. But everyone in a nation can be American, and a bunch of Europeans. What the fuck? Okay. This is coming
Yeah,
from
the wording
Kale.
was a little bit wrong, but
This
I
is
kinda
coming
get what
from
you're saying.
Kale, so I mean, who knows? So I mean, I guess he wants us to talk about economics. I mean, economics are fun, especially now that the new market mechanics are coming in for, you know, the game some point in time in May, hopefully. So that'd be fun to see how that happens and all that good stuff. So I guess we can start talking about economics and our opinions on economics. So I hope that the economics are very kind of involving. Like, I don't want it to be kind of like just like, oh, hey, you can buy and sell stuff. Like, I want it to be actually like, you know, very like a real like intergalactic economy, right? Or, well, I'm guessing this will be multiple galaxies, but you know, like, I want it to be involving, and I hope that, from what it sounds like, Novacork's gonna make it involving. So there's that. This is really gonna be tough.
Yes.
Oh dear. See, the problem is, right? You guys haven't given us enough drama to report on. You guys need to give us more drama, man. It's like, come on, guys.
Fuck Dual Universe.
Yes, there is the drama that we got. So, let's see. I really kind of hope that, I kind of hope the economies, right, will be kind of more you're able to decide how you want to run your economy in your own, like, nation, right? With, like, communism, capitalism, socialism, all that good stuff, right? And
See, Kyle.
yes. Like, I really hope, because I definitely love capitalism, but I bet a lot of people would want to kind of try and run communist states. It wouldn't surprise me, even though I don't think they'll really work out, but that's a discussion. You need to learn to stretch topics. 24-hour stream of the same question told 700 different ways, like news channels. Well, see, the problem with news channels, all right? Problem with, like, good old news channels, like CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC, any other ones, right? What are some international ones? BBC, right? Is that like a 24/7 news channel in Britain?
Yeah, they do
yeah,
have
they
one.
do.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure they actually had something like that, cause like it's just so boring. Like, it puts you to fucking sleep, right? Like,
That's
like,
why old people watch it.
yes. That's why it's always on in airports, so you can miss your flight, and then the airports will never pay you back.
I think you've just had bad experiences.
But don't get me wrong. I bet something like that is gonna happen in Dual Universe if you know, the technology is able, like, if there's ever broadcasting technology into, like, the broadcasting technology is able to be substantial enough where you can kind of, like, have channels that you can watch either on, like, the screen units, or that they've always shown off in some of their pre-alpha tutorials, like, if you could program that kind of stuff. Like, that'd honestly be interesting. And I mean, granted, I'm sure that there will be a bunch of other, like, entertainment channels and everything like that. And you already kind of see, like, 24-hour channels. Like, you see, like, DU Radio. I mean, or DUFM. Not DU Radio, but DUFM. Thing that Yama made. Like, and I know he wanted to have a bunch of talk shows. I originally signed up for one. However, I was hesitant to do it because I needed other people. I didn't want to do it myself because it would just turn into JudgeCast. And I didn't want to do it with Cringey, Rocky, and or Pengo because it would just turn into more JudgeCast. So I needed to find other people, and it was just kind of tough. And also because of NDAs and stuff, I was like, do I really want to risk it? Even though I'm doing this now. But I'll figure that out eventually. I'll probably do it once Alpha drops. But at this point, it's just like, stress is fun. So yeah. But
Can I just mention that I did go in to try and become one? Yama replied, asking me something. I replied to that, and he hasn't got back to me since, and that was quite a few months ago.
Yeah, Yama, step up your game. Nah. People are busy, you know. I think a lot of people right now are, I think the community in general right now is just kind of on a
November.
lull. Shush. It was just kind of like a lull, right? Everything's kind of just been like, you know, it's been quiet. It's been too quiet. But, I mean, that happens. I mean, especially when we're doing this on a weekly basis, right? Because it's like, not much happens in a week. We've just gotten lucky so far. However, it's kind of getting more back into the normalcy of things where not much happens. So it's kind of just like, I don't know. Content is hard to come by, but hopefully within the next 2 weeks, if we do our Q&A with Terran Union, because that'll be dedicated directly to the Q&A. But let's see. But yeah, I think that if people are able to program and implement start having guests and interviews, that would be an interesting thing to do. I'd be interested to start having guests on here and try and interview, or on my radio show for that matter. Like, just have guests on, like special guests every week, right?
Dexio, thanks for the volunteering.
Thank you for volunteering, Dexio. Get on here. But
Just let it happen.
yes, let it happen. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Fuck. Okay, wait. Radio show, guest host. Yeah, that thing. That would be kind of cool. But I think ultimately, the if we ever get to the point where we can kind of like program to either have radio stations or 24/7, you know, almost television stations in the game, that would honestly be really kind of cool because it would open up a lot more, like especially with like people with especially established people like Arc Central. Rocky, stop playing War Thunder. But Cringey, you stop playing games too. God damn it.
I only did that so you could reply like that.
These guys are fucking showing up on my Steam like, Cringey Buttclenchean is now playing Hearts of Iron. But anyways, I think that'll kind of open up a lot of doors for more kind of immersive gameplay that Nova Quark wants to go for, right? With like the like TV shows and radio shows, because you know you'll start seeing more people do that. And, you know, especially, like, people like Arc Central, you know, like, well, people, but, like, groups like Arc Central and DUFM, like, the established ones already. It's going to be interesting to see. And it'll be interesting to see that, like, some, like, specifically Arc Central, right? It would be interesting to see if they created an entire network. Like, I mentioned the idea before, like, creating an entire network around Arc Central. And, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that ever develops. So, Astro, you should get moving on that, please, and thank you. But what else? What else happened? What else is going on? Guess who could we do for, like, who could we have on for guests on this show? That'd be interesting.
Dexio.
Well, yeah, Dexio. Like, I wonder what org leaders could we have on for, like, or special Coke, obviously. I mean, we normally go on his stuff. Cybrex would be interesting. Cybrex would be an interesting person to have, because I think Cybrex actually said that he might be doing something like a show. So, you know, that'd be kind of cool if we could kind of like work together on that stuff, like maybe have like joint episodes together. I like how it's decided without my consent. Well, you were the one who originally thought up of the idea, Dexio. So you could be the first one.
First victim.
Oh, I got an interesting one that we could have on here. Kyvium, the leader of Empire. Like, the man, or the person, like, he never speaks, like, or does anything really outside of his Discord. It would be interesting to have him on. It would be awesome to have him on, just to kind of, like, talk and get his opinions on things, because he, like, I don't see him around at all, so that'd be kind of cool.
Wait, no, I've just thought of the best person to get on.
Who?
The Exodus Emperor.
Ah, yes! Exodus Emperor. That'd be hilarious.
It's not going to end well, though, is it? Let's be honest.
No, it really won't.
That's why we'd do it.
Oh, dear. They'll just end up calling us terrorists again. Who else?
This time we might be them.
Yeah. I'd like to have Yama on eventually. That'd be kind of cool. Just kind of do something joint with him. Kurok would be an interesting one. You know, bunch of the... Rocky! What did I tell you about playing War Thunder?
Let's just download it.
Kyvium doesn't talk. I talk to him all the time. Well, I don't. Like, I never see them around. I never see him around. So I'd be interested to kind of get him on here and actually kind of like... So, Kyvium, in the rare occurrence that you're watching this, hit me up. Let's do a show together. Yeah.
I know.
Who?
Remember the boss.
MM the boss. Yes. Yes. Obviously.
Yes.
He'd be the best person. Oh, dear. Anyways. But yeah, that'd be kind of cool to do eventually. You know, there's a bunch of other people too. So, you know, as much as I'd love to do guest host and everything, it's just kind of like timing and everything. I'd have to figure it out, and the people would actually have to be here. So, yeah, that'd be cool though if we actually did that. But what else? Anything else you guys want us to talk about in chat? While I look.
Should we talk about the fact that Kythium doesn't talk?
Yes, Kythium does not talk. I know that's a question for Glorious Show. I think he wants to keep up the Emperor roleplay. Talk to him in direct message, so it's fine. But doing a whole radio show in character is probably hard. Probably. But still, it'd be kind of interesting just to get the, see.
Is it seriously that hard to keep up a persona?
Apparently.
Alright. I know that's a question for Glorious Show, but in terms of attacking, NQ talked about having a system similar to Eve, where your construct has a shield, and that shield gets attacked, you have 24 hours to react. Aglio, I just saw, or Agillo. I can never say your name right, and I apologize. I just saw your thing in my server. I guess we could kind of talk about that, grace period, that whole thing with like attacking bases and stuff. I think it's definitely going to slow down the combat a lot. And, I mean, that is a good thing and a bad thing, in my opinion. Yes, Aggie...
Hello thing.
Yeah, I just say Aglio. That's how I've just gotten used to it.
Aglio.
Yes, Aglio. But keep in mind, this is coming from the guy... this is coming from the guy that calls Comrade Demoko, and Aeonian Unonian. Like, I can never pronounce things correctly, apparently. And I think Zamaro, or Zamaris, Zamaro, he last week he was offending me for how I pronounced something. I can't remember. But I'm good at pronouncing things, in case you guys haven't noticed. But yeah, it'd be interesting, and it would also be kind of interesting to, most people just call me Aggie. Aggie now. Aggie. See, Aggie just doesn't sound right. I just prefer Aglio. I don't know. Even though it sounds longer, it's
Or
just...
Agatha.
Agatha. Agatha. Alright, that's what we're calling you now, Aglio. Agatha. Alright. What else? I guess we could talk a little bit about the GLSU. We haven't really kind of covered anything about what's going on in GLSU as of late, probably because I've been kind of quiet on what I've been working on. And makes sense if you say it dramatic. If you say it dramatically with background music, yes. But I mean, I've been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and kind of been getting stuff ready for Alpha 1. But my plan is, once Alpha 1 drops and once the NDA drops, it's kind of just, like, I want to kind of do a complete overhaul / redo with GLSU. I want to kind of rework a lot of things. And a lot of things are in the works, at least for me now. Me trying to get my whole stuff ready for when I'm able to live stream, because that's going to be a challenge in of itself, since I lead the joke organization called GLSU. It's going to be tough for me to not have any accidental screw-ups and show anything that I don't want to show, such as organization secrets about who we're going to invade next week. But because we can definitely invade someone next week. Who should we invade next week, guys? You want to?
China.
China? Got it. Send it in the nukes now. All right. But rework the org members list. Half of them are dead. Yeah, I understand. It's kind of a shame that there's not as much activity as I'd like, but I mean, that comes with the fact that right now that we really can't have much activity, right? and I hope that once Alpha 1 kind of picks up, like, we'll be able to, you know, actually have a little bit more activity. So, you know, I don't know. That's a hope. But, so I want to work on that stuff. Once the summer hits, once I'm officially done with good old high school, you know, I plan on really kind of trying to sit down and get to work on a lot of stuff that I want to work on with the organization. There's a lot of stuff administration-wise and a lot of stuff I want to kind of do kind of like a reboot, like Project Collective, right? Or The Collective. We haven't really worked on that at all, and I really kind of want to get back on that, especially now with cities kind of being back in the discussion with like Tortuga and everything. I really kind of want to get back into kind of planning that out and having a lot of involvement from the community. So that's the goal, at least. I want to kind of work on a lot of stuff with other organizations too. Like when we pulled out of Cinderfall Syndicate, when they were still a thing and not Anonian, like we said we were gonna like pursue, you know, looking at our own kind of like, you know, looking into individual like alliances, or maybe joining something else or creating something, you know. So we're going to be looking into that a lot more now that Alpha 1 is kind of getting to be more of a thing, hopefully. So that's one of the things I really kind of want to work on. I want to kind of get recruitment back up and running. So Cringey, I'm gonna work you a lot. So
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm. So there's that. I am late here. Yes, you are late. But that's okay. Don't worry about it. What else? What else is going on? Anyway, greetings to all here. Yes, hello. What else have we got? I guess we can kind of, what else can we talk about? We're doing great at this rate. I guess since we're kind of on the topic of like organizations and community and stuff, I guess we can kind of talk about the community in general. I mean, like, I think that's one of the things that we used to really hit on back in the day, and recently we've kind of steered away from like the entire community as a whole, because it's like even though there's a lot of things that have changed, I think that like it's just like not worth mentioning, but I guess we can talk about it now. I don't know about you guys, but in my opinion, I feel like the community, since we stopped doing these, like since the time of our, like, since the original time we were doing these, I feel like the community is kind of in a little bit of a worse state, in my opinion. I feel like there's a lot more shit posting, a lot less kind of working together.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot less communication between the organizations. And
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't know. And I feel like there's a lot more one-person organizations now. Like, the gap between the, like, top 20, top 30 organizations and then all of the one-person organizations, and the clear disconnect is getting more apparent. And it's kind of upsetting, because a lot of the one-person organizations, like, as much as I want to, like, as much as people want to sugarcoat and everything, the unfortunate reality is that a lot of the one-person organizations are not going to succeed. It's just, like, that's kind of the unfortunate things. People want to try and go it alone, but in a lot of realities, it's just going to be very hard to do. At least that's my personal opinion. And, I mean, I think there's definitely going to have to be a lot more work between, like, the larger organizations and the smaller organizations to kind of like work together, because at this rate you're gonna have to kind of get to more of a common goal, right? Like a common goal of like helping a collective organization to helping more of everyone, right? Not just, you know, oh, I'm gonna try and, you know, better myself and become a millionaire. Cringey, stop playing Hearts of Iron. I'm gonna become a millionaire and all that good. Small orgs will fail or simply will need to work with bigger ones. Yes. Like I think ultimately, like, just the collective, like organization, like the organization as a whole is going to become very important to success, because that'll ultimately mean success for everyone in that organization, in my opinion. And I mean, I've always tried to, you know, get the attention of smaller orgs with GLSU, and I need to kind of rework on this. Is this the shit on Luminous section now? I don't
yes.
think we're yes it is. But in all seriousness, Dexio, I know that like you guys have hyperlink and everything, right? But like I just feel like as much as that's just like a chat between the leaders and everything, it's not like any joint projects are really like happening. That's what I'm more or less talking about. Communication between, like, having joint projects working together. Like, especially once Alpha 1 hits, like, I hope that that'll really pick up. Because that's really going to be the next thing that kind of needs to be worked on. Anyways, it's also community splitting between language lines. Before, everyone was speaking English. Now the French, Russians, the Germans all have their own big orgs and stay mostly to themselves. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the unfortunate thing. The fact that, you know, languages, people tend to stay with their own language. And I mean, while we will eventually have to work with people like that. I mean, I say have to, like, excuse me, it's not a bad thing, but like, but it's just like a thing. We're just gonna have to work together with them, like with like projects and everything like that. Everyone worked. Only truly like-minded orgs made of truly loyal people will prosper, and it will be hard even for them. Universe of dual universe will be harsh. Yes, it will be. Honestly, what's happening now is more of the norm. Everyone working together was just a fantasy people had. I disagree, Dexio. I disagree with you, because, like, yes, it is more of a norm right now, but, I mean, like, do you really think that's gonna really last? Like, do you really think that once, like, we get into the actual game, like, people are not going to, like, I'm not just talking about, like, yes, I think you're kind of focusing on the bigger orgs. Yes, I think a lot of people will kind of stick to themselves, kind of like how the countries are today. But, like, in America, or countries in America, yeah. I'm tired. But the countries in the world are today, they don't really kind of, like, everyone kind of sticks to themselves. Yeah, they kind of work together on some things, but, like, but keep in mind, like, in terms of projects and stuff like that, and really kind of making this universe good, like, a lot of the one-person organizations, this is kind of more or less more along the lines of the smaller organizations. Like, they're going to kind of have to work together with the bigger organizations. One, if they want recognition for themselves, and two, if they want to kind of, you know, be able to get anywhere themselves. The game is an ecosystem. Everyone has a place. It all depends on what you do. The universe is huge. Yes, the universe is huge. However, I just think, I don't know. I mean, I get where you're coming from, Dexio. Anyways, Rocky Cringey, I feel like I'm the only one talking, and I feel bad.
I'm shooting people.
I'm listening.
Rocky, just like, I'm shooting people, leave me alone. Oh dear. See, this is why we don't play. This is why we don't play video games while we're doing this, Rocky.
Screw you.
Okay. All kinds of asshats who try to ruin other people's fun. Yeah, I do agree with that, Decatron. Like, I think especially against kind of like the people like that are going to try and be griefers and everything. I think a lot of people are going to have to work together. And especially once, like, if we ever have wars. And I wonder how, like, wars are going to be interesting in Dual Universe. Like, I wonder if we're going to see a lot, or if we're just going to be, like, kind of more or less, like, if that's going to be more of, like, a rare thing, right?
It's going to be rare, I think.
I think it ultimately will be, too. I think
I
wars
mean,
going to be...
gathering the manpower and then the vehicles and supplies and
Yeah.
everything to do is huge undertakings. It's going to take time.
Yeah, war's going to be a very expensive endeavor. Like, especially on a large scale. Like, if we're talking about, like, the Eve Wars, remember? Like, all those big wars that have, like, thousands of people. Like, it's just going to be crazy to kind of, like, try and have a war on that scale. And, you know, I'll be interested to see what wars are going to be like. Anyways, Cringey, were you going to say something? No? Okay.
No.
Oh, I just saw your, like, microphone thing go on Discord, so I was like, oh, did I interrupt you? But, I mean, yeah. Yes, united people will prosper and survive. Divided will perish badly. But, yeah, I think there's definitely going to be, like, that argument. And I think, ultimately, you will see a lot of the one-person organization. You'll see some succeed. I think you'll definitely see some succeed, especially depending on if what they're doing is very, like if what they do is not very common, right? Like, say, like, people who, like, spend their entire time delivering stuff, right? The transportation, like, either transportation of people or, like, transportation of, like, goods and stuff like that. Kind of like, you know, if there was, like, a FedEx or, like, a UPS or...
Cringey's going to do.
What?
That's what Cringey's doing. He's setting that sort of stuff up.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
that's what my org is.
yes, but like there's not many of them, especially like notable ones, right? Curious, who, oh, who are you on Discord? Eve started with 100 players being a huge battle, and now it's now it has to be 10,000 to make a dent. It will be interesting to see how DU develops in that regard. Yeah, it will be. I will be very interested to see that. Agatha. Sorry, Agatha. I need to hold on. I need to rename Aglio's name on here to Agatha on the Discord just before I forget. But yeah, I'll be interested to see where everything goes, and I'll be interested to see how wars are going to be, and I'll be interested to see how people will kind of, you know, either stick together or not. You know, like, if people will kind of like I'll be interested to see, like, I know recently there have been some discussions about cities and stuff, right? Like, if cities are really going to be kind of more or less like an actual thing in game, or if you're just going to kind of see more or less like sporadic kind of like bases everywhere. And I think ultimately, like, that's one thing that I think should be discussed about. I think cities will have a place. I don't think you'll see many of them, though. Like, I think that the organizations, like, especially the top 10 organizations, I think you'll see each one of them try and kind of come up with some sort of collective area where they're at. Whether they name it a city or just, like, I don't know, whatever they're going to call it. But, like, some sort of place where they kind of stick to themselves and have a place for them to work with. Like, I know, like, Band of Outlaws have been really kind of pushing this. I see the DU as a Eve, yes. Great grammar there. But upgraded on a huge level, yes. I really will be interested to see how cities will work out. Because, I think people are really going to have to work hard to try and make the cities look nice. Because they'll be kind of like a rare thing, right? And I think there's going to be a lot of work going into, like, architectural design, and if it becomes a thing, like making sure that it doesn't get lost, right? Because if you make a city, it's going to definitely be a big target, right? So
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll be interested to see how that goes, and see if it's even feasible, like with defenses, if people try and attack it. Like, you still haven't read my magazine about city projects, did you? If that was part of your almanac, I still have not gotten to read that yet. And sorry, I've been busy. It's been a fun little month for me. If the game mechanics allows the city will work on an automatic level, or at least half auto. Yeah, I mean, granted, I mean, I originally came up with the design for a city, right? And then, like, I think it's going to be very different from what it will eventually be. But, yeah. Other than that, what else do we want to talk about? Cringey, Rocky, anything? Any ideas?
No, not from me.
No? You guys are all busy playing video games?
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
not playing a video game at the moment. Check my thingy.
You could hide it. I always hide mine. But
I don't.
But let's see. Anyone else in chat have any ideas of stuff we can discuss? I mean, like, we still got some time to try and, talk about some stuff. So I mean, let's see. What else is there? What else is there to discuss? We could talk about content creation. That would be kind of interesting, with the live streamers and everything. Cause Rocky, didn't you say you I know Cringey said he was gonna record, but Rocky, didn't you say you were gonna? Were you gonna do anything like streaming or recording?
I sort of still undecided whether I'm going to stream or do videos or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm probably going to do more videos. I think. But...
Yeah. Oh, here's a good topic. How you people will deal with the trollish infestation in game. How you people will deal with the trollish infestation. Oh, Decatron, I love making fun of the way that you speak. But I guess trolls are going to be a big thing, and that's one of the things that we're definitely going to have to see how it's going to be, right? Because that's always been a hot topic issue, I'd say. Goons, yes, Goons Swarm. I will be interested to see if Goon Swarm actually ever realistically comes over to Dual Universe. Of course, we have Frog Swarm, but full force Goon Swarm. It's fine, Decatron. It's just funny to make fun of it. Don't take any offense. But Goon Swarm will I'll be interested to see how we deal with the griefers, because I think you're definitely going to see that problem. People are naturally assholes. That's what I've gathered from my years of gaming experience. People are naturally assholes. So, I'll be interested to see where that kind of goes. And I'll be interested to see if... I think Nova Quark will honestly leave it up to the players to deal with, right? But I'll just be interested to see how the players will deal with it. Because I think a lot of them are going to have to kind of actively go out and try and take these people out. And I think the bounty system, once that gets implemented, will be honestly very useful in that kind of stuff, because, they can just put a bounty on him and, get money, and that's about it. Frog Swarm is the former Tau Ceti Federation of Eve. They're cool. They joined Goon Swarm at some point, but as French speakers, they stayed mostly among themselves. I don't think they're here to troll. Fair enough. I haven't had any actual discussions or anything with their leader. From my experiences, only a serious, mature players guild org will survive, even become powerful. Yes. Um, yeah. So I mean, I haven't had any discussions with their leader, which it's Slimmerass or I can never get his name right. Hold on. Silmarius. Yeah, Silmarius. I'm not sure if there's a correct French way to say that, but I think I'm saying it right because it's been a while. It's been about a year since I've done any French, and the only one the only one I can really remember, it's because because I always get triggered when everyone says it wrong because of JC Bailly. Double L in French is pronounced like a Y. So when anyone ever says JC Bailey, I always am like, hey, it's wrong. It's JC Bailly. Get it right. So yeah, that one's kind of funny. But yeah. But yeah, back to our discussion about the content creators. I'll be interested to see how far, like, or if anyone will ever, like, if we'll start to see anyone, like, any actual streamers who stream the game, right? If we'll see any famous ones. I'm calling you. Yes, you have fun with that. You have fun with that, Dexio. All right.
What, Yuri?
Yori. It sounds almost Swedish. Anyways. But I'll be interested to see if, like, because right now, like, you see people are actually kind of, like, making a name for themselves with, like, Fortnite and everything, which, okay, first of all, I'm gonna just rant a little bit. I hate Fortnite. I know I'm one of the few people, but I hate Fortnite. It's, like, I'd much rather
You ever played it?
No, I've never played it, and I never
Don't
want
judge
to
it
play.
then.
No, I'm going to judge it. I judge everything, even if I don't actually do anything with it. Because I hate Fortnite. It just seems like a cartoonish version of PUBG. I'd much rather play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
No, it's not.
Let me guess, you've played it before?
A couple times, yeah.
I don't know. I just personally don't like the look of it, and I personally think it's kind of
I'm with Laurie.
Thank you.
I'm one of the people that say video games are usually better when they are cartoony, but battle royale ones aren't.
Like, but other than that, like, personal opinions aside, I see a lot of people have made a name for themselves playing Fortnite. Like Ninja, right? He's made a name for himself. I mean, same with, like, PUBG back when that was, like, super huge, and, like, H1Z1, like Dr. Disrespect, like, both of those people were not really like crazy. So if Dual Universe ever kind of becomes successful, like, or even in, like, even in its own sphere of influence right now, I'll be interested to see if there's anyone, like, who stands out among the community, right? I'll be interested to see. I think you'll definitely see, like, especially back in the original days, like, Yama was huge, and he still is, but, I mean, like, he was, like, the Dual Universe livestream guy, and now there's a little bit more people, so we'll see where everything goes. And I don't play either, but if I had to pick, I'd play Fortnite. The mechanics seem more interesting than PUBG. I don't play Battle Royale games. Yeah, I like the fact that it seems like Fortnite's developers are kind of, like, on their game. Like, they kind of, like, they really try to keep everything going. Like, that's the one thing that PUBG and H1 don't really do that much. Because they just don't. But yeah. We'll see. But going back to the actual thing, I'll be interested to see if there's any actual, like, good, like, any notable content creators that that really start to shine once we're able to stream the game. Because that would be cool to, you know, be able to see where everything goes and everything like that. So, yeah. Anything else? H1Z1 is owned by Daybreak, and we don't talk about Failbreak. Yeah. It's crazy because H1Z1 was the original one, and now it's just, like, nothing.
Because it's a piece of shit.
Well, it's a piece of shit now, but I mean, back in the day, it wasn't. Like, back when PUBG wasn't a thing, or when Fortnite wasn't a thing. So it's just kind of crazy. I don't know if D will be a good game to stream. No one cares about Eve's stream. And I don't know. H1Z1 isn't the original? Okay, which one's the original? Minecraft Hunger Games?
DayZ.
Minecraft. Oh, hey, Kurok. How nice of you to drop in.
No, it's DayZ, or Daisy as you say it.
Oh, yeah, Daisy did do that. I forgot about that. I mean, about time, Kurok. But I don't know if D will be a good game to stream. No one cares about Eve's streams, and I don't know if I want to watch a guy mining or flying through space for 15 minutes. It's only for wars, I guess. Well, I think you won't see a lot of streams for wars because of the fact that, or you'll see them on a heavy delay, especially if they're, like, important people, right? Like, because they'll be, like, especially for me, like, if I were to stream during a war, you know, I'd have to be making the very important decisions, you know, go here and all that good stuff. So, I mean, I couldn't really be able to stream, and if I would be able to stream, it would be on, like, a 30-minute delay or something like that shit. So, yeah. So, I mean, I think there will be people who will be interesting. I mean, keep in mind, like, you have, like, back in the day, Minecraft Let's Plays were a thing. So, I mean, I think the audience for it is there. I'm just, like, I think you will honestly, I think your argument, though, has merit, Agatha. Because stream snipers are the worst. Yeah, one of the QCasts that we did before our break, I talked about stream snipers and kind of just streaming a little bit more in depth, and it's gonna be interesting to see kind of where everything goes. So I don't think stream snipers will be as big of a deal in this game because it's not like a fast-paced FPS. Like, you know, they've always said that it's going to be a lock and fire, so you'll have more time to kind of react if people were to kind of, like, you know, start picking on you and everything. But I think stream snipers are still going to be a problem, especially if they get, like, the coordinates to, like, your base or some shit like that. That could be a problem. Stream while playing the game is equivalent to asking people to rob you and giving them your location. Yes. But we'll see. I mean, yes, Eve streams. You don't really hear any notable Eve streamers. But granted, I mean, Eve is kind of like a niche community in of itself. Like, you know, before this, like, you know, you don't really hear about the Eve players really mixing with any other communities or anything like that, right? Like, so I mean, I think there's honestly an audience for it, and the thing is that they're just gonna have to make it interesting. Like, that's the one thing that they'll have to do, because, like, flying through space, just taking an hour to, you know, kind of fly through space, that's just gonna kind of be boring. Like, I get that, but if they can kind of, like, you know, maybe, I don't know, like, we've seen in, like, the tutorials, right? Like, in the tutorials and, like, the dev diaries that Dual Universe has done, like, we've seen that you can program games on, like, some of the loose screens. So if, like, maybe, like, you set something on autopilot, and you can kind of, like, you know, yes, I am very happy, Agatha. I appreciate it. For those of you who don't know, Aglio just changed his name to Agatha in my Discord. But anyways, like, if they actually kind of have, like, mini games while doing stuff while on their ship just waiting, you know, that'd be kind of cool to do. So I can just imagine that now. But I get your concerns about it not being interesting, and so we'll see where everything goes. But all right. Well, our goal of making it to an hour-long stream has pretty much been fulfilled. So,
Okay, all. See you next week.
yeah, but, I guess that's about it. Nothing else has, and technically, Rocky, we wouldn't be doing it next week because we're doing the, Terrain Union thing. Hopefully.
We'll still see it next week because we'll still be doing something. So
True.
Yeah.
True. But yeah, that's about it for this week. I don't think there's anything else really to talk about. I mean, I think this one was kind of interesting because we kind of just, there wasn't many news stories to report on, but we kind of just got to talk about a bunch of random shit. So it was kind of going on, rambling and everything. So, of course, it was mainly me. You two didn't talk much, which I feel like is kind of my fault, so I apologize.
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean, you guys want to talk now? You guys can talk now.
No.
Cringey, do you want to talk?
No.
Okay.
He's still sucking.
Yeah, he's still sucking on deck. All right. Dear. Anyways, so yeah, I guess that's about it. A reminder, Pengo is the best. Yeah, Pengo would be able to help us, but of course he's getting a flight home. He's for like a month he's been out in Arizona. So he's taking a flight home now. So yeah, he wasn't here, but hopefully he'll be here from now on. Hopefully. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, a reminder that next week we will not be doing Judge Cast at our normal time. We will be doing the Q&A with Terrain Union. So, like I said at the beginning of the stream, if you go into the description, you will find a link to the form where you can enter in your username and your question. And, you know, you can ask us anything D-related that won't get us banned for violating the NDA, and we will try our best to the best of our ability to answer it. So, yeah, make sure you go over and do that, and all that good stuff. We will announce, hopefully, by Wednesday when the time is. Hopefully. Right now it's just kind of working with Terrain Union because they're away for the weekend. Because originally it was supposed to be this weekend when we were doing it. So, yeah, that didn't really work out because they're away doing something. I don't really know what they're doing, but they're doing something. So, yeah. So other than that, I like how no one commented on my username and question that I added in just as an example. It was funny. I don't know. I thought it was funny, but okay. But
yeah, it's well done.
Thank you. But yeah. Other than that, so next week we'll hopefully get the time. Normally, we've always done the Q&As at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So that would be what? That'd be 5 hours ahead for UK. So that's 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So that'd be 1500. So 3 o'clock UK time, which means 4 o'clock for Europe, most of Europe. 10 a.m. is 7 a.m. for Pacific, and that's good enough. You can figure out your other times because those are the best times that I can figure out. So yeah, so that's normally when we do these. It doesn't mean that it'll be the exact same, but that's normally when Terrain Union does the Q&As. So we'll see what happens, and we'll make sure to let you guys know when it will actually be happening. And yeah, until next weekend. And if we don't do it next weekend, then we will definitely be doing Judge Cast ourselves. So just as a note, if we don't do it, expect Judge Cast, and if we do it, no Judge Cast. So yeah, on that, that's about it. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all of your topics that you wanted us to discuss. Hopefully we talked about topics to the best of our abilities. And yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Really helps get our content out there for the rest of the community to see. And until next weekend, we will see you later. Goodbye.
Nah.